Alan.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so the writer of This Is the Zodiac Speaking feels like that Zodiac wasn't some genius or anything. I mean, he was bright, I guess, but he wasn't anything special. It was just he should have been caught, to be honest with you, after the cab driver murder. They actually stopped him. They stopped Zodiac, but because some tard put over the radio that they were looking for a black male, guess what? Zodiac got the fuck away.
Wow.
Yeah. And they go over that briefly again in the movie, and it's something that if you look through the case files and things like that, I don't claim to be an expert, but I have done a lot of research on this shit. I've seen a lot of documentaries, read a lot of stuff, and, Zodiac is one of the most fascinating things, and he has spawned so many things after him. I mean, like so many things that are like, I don't know, copycats of it. There was a movie in like 1971 during the killings that came out, and it was a Dirty Harry movie, and it was the Scorpio was killing in the movie, right? And of course he was based on the Zodiac. And then there's also This Is the Zodiac, I think is what it was, or the Zodiac Killer. It came out around that time too, and of course it was based on those events. And there was the shitty movie you tried to watch last night and then bailed on it quickly. By the way, Vic, there is a website that like ranks that movie, and they gave it -49 out of -50. It's a near perfect shit movie.
I'm telling you, man, if I was tripping on acid, it might have been okay.
Dude, they gave a synopsis of the movie. They're like, he walks around for a while, he kills somebody, the camera gets shaky for a long time, he kills somebody, it gets shaky for a long time. I was like, this is funny. So, yeah, anybody who, unless you're like a serious drug addict, don't ever watch Curse of the Zodiac, because it is a big steaming pile of shit. As soon as I saw the dude with the tattoos, I was like, no. Like, not for me.
Man. Yeah. Like I said.
I mean, I hear it's one of the worst out there.
Just because, I mean, like, the only reason why I would need to be on acid, because, other than the shaky cam, like, it just looks bad. And, like, he looks like, whoever directed it looks like they're on acid. So it would only make sense for me to be on that while I'm watching it.
It's possible. Well, and also the movie goes over the fact that Paul Avery, is Robert Downey Jr.'s character, and he does a hell of a job because Paul Avery was an alcoholic and ended up using cocaine, and fucking Downey Jr. does an awesome job, and Jake Gyllenhaal does a great job as Robert Graysmith. But, apparently that movie takes a lot of liberties and stuff, and as perfect as the movie is, it's maybe at times not factually correct, because Robert Graysmith, he was dead set on who he thought it was. And, just like anybody else, when they get dead set on somebody, they overlook things. And and of course there's people out there that say Robert Graysmith fabricated a lot of what he said. So again, different stories, different people. And of course, the guy who did Zodiac, Vic, he actually did Seven also. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And he did Fight Club, which I know you're not a fan of, but I am. So.
Yeah, it's a pretty horrible movie.
No, it's a great movie. It's one of the best ever. David Fincher's the fucking man. Only women don't like Fight Club, sir.
No, only men don't like it because it's a bitch movie.
Men love it. It's a movie for guys who love movies.
It's a fag movie.
It's also a movie for emos, apparently, because every emo wrestler I've ever seen likes to fucking quote that movie and piss me off. So
yeah,
that upsets me.
See?
I don't like that much. I don't appreciate that, but it is what it is. But anyway, back to this movie and this topic at hand. Yeah, so my theory on it all is that he either got busted for something else or he fucking died, which I don't know when he died. There's actually, Vic, I sent you this story that like February 2014, this guy says that his friend confessed to him about the Zodiac murders, and he tried to tell the cops, and they're like, yeah, whatever. Because, I mean, it's been so long, it's a cold case of pain in the ass to bring it up now. But apparently the guy went to high school with either the second set of victims or the first set of victims, and he worked at the diner where one of the chicks worked. So, I mean, there was a lot of things that come up there. And I think he might have been ex-military also. So there was that
he was.
also. Oh yeah, and they also mentioned that during the time where there were no Zodiac killing, or
he was
Zodiac,
overseas.
where he's quiet, he was overseas. So
Yeah, for that 3 years or whatever.
Seems as good of a candidate as any. We'll see if they ever get to the DNA testing phase, because the part of that too is I always wondered if Zodiac worked alone, and I'm not saying he killed with other people, but what if somebody else was writing those ciphers for him or whatever? I mean,
yeah.
Who knows?
What if the Zodiac Killer is more than one person? I mean, you got one person killing in one area, one person killing another area, and I don't know. Maybe there's Zodiac.
I've seen Scream.
Exactly.
He also said this, Vic, and this is something that he put in a cipher too. When I'm doing my thing, your description of me is correct, but I look different all the rest of the time. So what the fuck does that mean?
And
saying you were disguised beyond that executioner's mask?
I mean, it should be brought up that guy that admitted to it, he only did it because he knew he was dying, and he told his friend to, tell the cops after he died. So he died in like 2002. But did his friend wait until 2014 to bring it up?
I think he tried to tell the cops, and the cops were just like, whatever.
And now
I'm sure they get these things all the time. Again, like you heard in the trailer there, we've got about 90 an hour.
Yeah. I don't fucking know.
And Vic, I talk about this, being in the age of a serial killer, and I know there's like 25 to 30 active in the U.S. all the time, and that's one thing. But to actually know that they're on the prowl, like he gripped the entire city of San Francisco, like with fear, because of mainly, if nothing else, because of the letters where he said he was going to take out the tires of a school bus and pick off the kiddies as they came, tumbling out or whatever. I'm like, that's just fucked. And he did, though. He terrorized the entire city, and he also had a bomb threat out there too.
Yeah, I mean, he was a sick human being. There's no doubt about that.
But yeah, I mean, I think one of the reasons why he was so famous is, one, the ciphers. Two, he actually had a... Stop, asshole, baby. Yeah, I called you an asshole. She was blown away by that. She was blown away. She had this look like, I can't believe you just called me an asshole.
That's so awesome.
Like her mouth dropped. She couldn't believe it. And I'll flip you off, too. What do you think of that, Tyler Bear? Anyway, so she's over here laughing about it now because she's kind of an asshole. But anyway, so where was I going with that? Oh, what made him famous is, the ciphers, the fact that he had a name for himself, and the fact that he was fucking with the papers and the police. Now, who does that? You get caught for that shit now. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said in the documentary, man, if they had the scientist stuff or whatever, now if they had them, there's no doubt in their mind that they'd be able to find this dude.
Might have changed the circumstances of some things, too. But they say he was sloppy with that last murder of the cab driver because, they found a bloody fingerprint or thumbprint, but they've never been able to match it to any of the suspects.
I wonder if he just killed himself once it was all said and done.
Well, that'd be interesting. Well, that's one way to... I mean, it's interesting. Well, I mean, it's a good point. Like, okay, so unless he got arrested... or he went somewhere else to kill, and it was some, you know what I mean?
Hey, like, Travis, we got a call coming in right now, buddy. Let's see who it is. Hey, 484, you
Hello?
There? Hey, is this Mark?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Mark Price is on the line.
I feel your pain, Mark. I'm actually not feeling so great myself. I'm sorry you got the super flu.
Yeah, this is a bugger.
Well, we were at the point where we were actually talking. I watched a documentary on the Alaska hunter, and so I was trying to compare some things. Did you, and for anybody who's not familiar, Mark, kind of throw out the theory that you're running with right now, or the theory that you've got a lot of facts to at least raise some eyebrows.
Yeah. Well, what happened was I actually had somebody else pegged to be the Zodiac Killer, and it seemed okay. But then I happened to see this episode that Marcus Saki does, and he happened to do the in Anchorage, and I see him doing this report on Robert Hansen and the Alaskan Killer. And I'm thinking, hey, he looks like the Zodiac picture. So I checked out his history and everything else, and there were certain similarities. Oh, this is kind of interesting. So I just kept following up, and not only was the look, but then I started noticing some handwriting similarities. And also the weird part is, in the letter that I found of Hansen's, he's not a very good speller. And that's what they say of the Zodiac Killer, that he really was not a good speller. A lot of people attributed that he was faking it, but in this case it may be true.
Some things that I didn't get to, and again, I don't know if you're going to take it like I'm challenging you or what. I'm not really challenging so much as I just wanted to see if these are things that you'd ever got to kind of like cross the bridge on. Apparently the Alaska Hunter had a stutter, but I'd never heard that about Zodiac, at least in the 911 calls he made. Have you ever heard that or any kind of connection there?
Yeah, and I did find something interesting. I saw an article about, a news article about Hansen, and actually when he was doing things, he actually admitted he lost his stutter. When he was interested in things, when he was talking to the women in Alaska, he actually lost that stutter. I found that really interesting.
Did they ever say that he had a monotone voice also?
That I did not hear, but the stutter would disappear. That fascinated me.
Huh. Okay, well, and here's another thing, too, the wing walkers. That was another one that I wasn't able to find a connection on. Did he have any kind of a military background? I know he could fly a plane, obviously.
Yeah, he was an excellent flyer, evidently, because he could put a plane down in the wilderness and then take off again. But anyway, yeah, he was in the wilderness, in the military earlier in his career. I think late 50s, early 60s, around there. Not long. I think it was only like a year or something.
But long enough to where he would have had, like, wing walkers.
Yeah, or knew what to wear when he was around aircraft. I think the guy was a lot more brilliant than people take him, as just being a baker. Because to be able to fly a plane like that, it just took some extreme moxie, in my opinion.
And then one question I had was, so the couples, as the Zodiac Killer, he killed a lot of couples. Now, granted, he went a couple of times he went away from that, but he was definitely more angry at the women, which is pretty obvious considering the women would die and the men would a couple of times survive. So, I mean, he was taking out aggression on them. Do you kind of see the same MO, or do you think it's totally different? Because I had never heard of Hansen killing any men.
Any men? No, at least none that we know of. The thing that got me was when I found the Zodiac letter that says he enjoys hunting humans because they're the hardest prey to kill or whatever. And yet that's what Hansen was doing up in Alaska.
Yeah,
hunting humans.
Yeah, I noticed that
and
too.
I found that similarity was interesting. And then there were some previous crimes that happened in California, robberies, that sort of thing. And Hansen had done that. He wasn't just a killer. He also was a robber, a thief, that sort of thing.
So,
and a little bit of a
connection with California was did he visit there? Or did he actually ever live there?
I don't know if he actually lived there, but I have a feeling that he had a relative there. I did find, and this is what I wish I could have sent you, but I did find another Robert Hansen that lived mid-state, just east of San Francisco.
Huh. Okay, interesting. All right, well, hey, Mark, I wanted to just bring you in for a few minutes because I know you're not feeling great, and I didn't want to take up too much of your time, but do you want to throw out some plugs?
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
People can find your stuff, maybe?
Yeah, I sent my stuff to the majority of my stuff to the authorities. I don't have it online yet. You can look on my Facebook page, Mark Potts, for some of the other stuff that I've done. And I'm going to have to